The influences of the economic conditions in China and the UK and how they may affect the supply chain of Asos. There has been bad air pollution in parts of the UK, particularly in bigger cities. The government is trying to reduce the pollution in the UK. Pollution originates from the fumes from traffic, particularly lorries which could be sitting for a long time in it. This is similar to in China, where at the moment the air pollution is very bad for the country. However, the environmental problem that is different to in the UK is the drinking water issues. In China, the drinking water standard set 5 years ago is under review by the government this year. In 2007, the government introduced the National Drinking Water Quality Standard. This only came into full effect in July 2012, since the bar was set far above the actual quality levels in China. The problem in China is that there are animals such as pigs floating down the main river that provides the biggest city, Shanghai, with water. In the UK, the government is particularly concerned about reducing the amount of waste that is sent to landfill. This is seen as wasting space and wasting money. At the moment, there is a current trend for recycling. I have found out that China exports far more than the UK does. I think that this is partly because China is a much bigger country than the UK, with a population of over 1.35 billion people, whereas the UK only has a population of 63.4 million people. This is also because there are fewer factories in the UK, many have closed down. Also, the currency for the UK is pounds, and for China it is renminbi. The language in the UK is English, and the language in China is Standard Mandarin. The different economic conditions might affect the supply chain of Asos in many ways. Firstly, as Asos has started to take sustainability into account by applying measures to reduce carbon emissions in the UK as well as China, this will then reduce air pollution. The air pollution in the UK and China will affect the distribution in the supply chain. I think this because China exports to Asos warehouse in the UK, and this affects the transportation of the clothes, for example, by plane. If clothes can't be shipped over due to air pollution and there's not enough stock, then you can't sell. Therefore, Asos will lose profits. Another way that conditions may affect the supply chain is if Asos collaborate with numerous organisations such as Ethical Trading Initiative to improve the labour conditions in its supply chain. Generally, the environmental issues such as waste is an issue in the UK. Therefore, people need to be motivated to recycle and dispose of textiles, batteries and waste electricals in the UK and other European territories. As well as this, in the UK, a significant impending government change is when there was the general election in the UK. Until the recent election, there was a coalition, Conservative Liberal Democrat government, but now there is a majority Conservative government. It is likely that in the coming years there will be a referendum on Britain remaining in or leaving the EU. Consequently, there will be a period of uncertainty and instability prior to the results. In China, there are currently some impending government changes. Chinese society is on the verge of a structural transformation. This will be more profound than the long project of economic rebalancing, which the Communist Party is anxiously trying to undertake. China's population is ageing more rapidly than it is getting rich, giving rise to a great demographic imbalance. So there aren't many young people working in factories in China anymore due to the rise in demographic imbalance. In the UK, babies are living longer and therefore life expectancy is increasing. The UK population is still growing, but only slowly. There are many different factors that impact on Asos' business and stakeholders. A social factor is that in the UK, the affluent consumers are preferring to buy items made from raw materials such as organic cotton for at least some of its garments. A legal and social factor is that would affect Asos' performance in the past is the increase in VAT, which is said that would have an impact on consumer spending power. However, online sales are expecting to continue growing. A political factor is that the government has some important aims for the UK now it's a Conservative government. Low mortgage rates and low unemployment means that people have more money in their pocket to spend on luxury items such as fashion. Another political factor is that lower mortgage rates and lower unemployment means that people have more money. If people are spending, then profits will go up. and the investors, the stakeholders, have invested in the business and get more back. A legal factor is that customer service in the UK is often better than countries like China due to the strong consumer laws in the UK in recent years. As customers, stakeholders will be affected by the consumer laws as stated by the Consumer Rights Act.